Counting 3, 2, 1.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ernesto Lafiur, and no surprise since you already noticed my accent. I'm a foreign language teacher, Spanish. So today I want to talk about how there's always a way to do things differently, to teach our content differently. And I'm going to do that showing you a specific example on Spanish. Languages, language acquisition versus language learning. Let's see. Let's make a, let's do a little poll. Who's good at math? Wow, I feel lonely. Who's good at social studies? Who's good at science? Okay. Now, who's good at speaking a language? It's a language. I think we have 100% if you're here. Okay, so evidently there's a difference, no? Not everybody knows math or is good at math. Not everybody is good at science, but we all speak a language, correct? So there is something different. I hear this all the time. Students say, I'm not good at languages. I say that's not possible. You're talking to me. Okay. So our brains, we have the software to learn. Okay, is different than other things. Okay. We already speak a language. The fact that it's English is absolutely random. I always tell them, if when you were born, they put you in a UPS box and shipped you to Sweden, you would be speaking Swedish and you would say, I'm not good at English, right? So, it's a little different. But most classrooms, and I've been done this too, we go to a language class and we get grammar, and grammar, right? And then we say they give us all these tools, right? Verb conjugation and pronouns and all that stuff. And then they say, okay, now speak, right? And it's not possible. It's tough to put all that together. If every time we build up a sentence, we have to be speaking, okay, I need a noun, now I need an article, now I don't know, to speak we need 3, 4 reincarnations now to express ourselves. Because it would take a lot of time. So the question is, when we learn rules and grammar, are we learning the language, or are we learning about the language, right? This is the language, or these are tools that we use later to monitor or to correct our language. Do we memorize language? I don't think so, right? We acquire language. Do we memorize vocabulary lists to improve our lexicon? When we were kids? Okay, son, today you're going to learn the words of the bathroom. Next month, you'll be ready for the future tense. You're 7 years old, right? It's not like that, right? Memorizing works for the short-term memory, and language is long-term memory. We acquire a language without effort, and we speak it without effort. Many times without thinking too much. Okay? So there is another way. Input. Okay? That's the way we know, really. It's not a foreign thing. What I'm going to talk about is another way to learn language or to teach language in the classroom. It's called TPRS. It's a teaching proficiency through storytelling. And it's a proposed method that mimics the way we acquire our own language. To create a sense of immersion in the classroom. Where the students can acquire the language without being aware of it. TPRS is the opposite. It's listen, 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 listen. We cannot speak if we don't listen. That's why we did it, right? We listen for a long time, and then we say, or something, whatever our first word was. And then read in later years. Input. The TPRS method was created by Blaine Ray. He combined the TPR model, which was called total physical response, and Stephen Krashen's theory of second language acquisition. The TPR is based in commands. It used to be a method And some people use it that it's commands, okay? Do this, do that, do that, do that, and people learn like that, no? But it can be getting a little tedious, no? I would feel like I'm back in the army, no? Do this, sit down, brush your teeth. So it has to be more engaging. And Krashen says that language acquisition does not require extensive use of conscious grammatical rules. That it has to be through meaningful interaction in target language, natural communications. And we are concerned not with a form. No, we're not thinking about, oh, I need a noun, a pronoun. No, it's just the message we are conveying, right? That's what we care about when we speak. So, TPRS works, it uses a mixture of reading and storytelling in the classroom. New vocabulary and structures are introduced using a combination of translation, gestures, questions, and those structures are used in a spoken class story. Then you go to reading, and there's a reading activity involved. It focuses on listening to produce speech, and reading to produce writing, like we do it with our own language. Repetition is a key element, okay? Repetition. If you're a parent, or if you're a kid, you don't remember, but if you're a parent, no? Repeating to your kid, mama, mama, no? Who knows what we look like idiots probably. This is my parent. Okay. I did some math with a calculator because I couldn't do it. And 5 years old, we listened to 26,000 hours, okay, before we start speaking and communicating. Compare that to having the kids for 4.5 hours a week, which is mean a good week. For 4 years, it's 680 hours. So it's an uphill battle. So you have to do it. You have to plan well and do a lot of repetition and engaging. The technique is called circling. I'm not going to go into this, but these allow the teacher to repeat structures and words between 50 and 100 times. They say that it takes about average 80 times until we learn. And everything is done in context, not in a vacuum. Everything has a meaning. There has to be a connection between sound and looking and concepts. There has to be, as they say, teach to the eye. Props, I have a whole trunk of props. Not afraid to use them. It's inside the classroom, no? And the students need to be engaged. It's not that you rant for 2 hours and miraculously the Holy Spirit will enlighten the kids and, oh, they're going to start speaking in tongues. That's no. The kids they need to know what is going on and understand. And you need to write words or act or whatever you need to do for them to understand what is going on and follow the story. They should be thinking of nothing, amazingly, no? Completely opposite that we try to do. They have to be thinking about the message and not about, oh, is this a predator? Is this? No, they're the story. Listening to the story. There's a reading, individual, guided reading, and new vocabulary. It's, as I said, is learned in context, which is the way we learn vocabulary today, right? When we read a book in English, we don't go to the memorize lists. We read, oh, I never heard this word, but I guess the idea is this, right? And it sticks. This method relies heavily on Krashen's theory of second language, which makes a lot of sense. It says, acquisition, it's a subconscious process. Monitor is the grammar, which is the editor that comes later. No? Everybody takes English until college. But comes after. Input, comprehensible input, listening, reading. The natural order, acquire, and then learn, then fine-tune. And the affective filter, other factors, motivation, self-confidence, anxiety, common things in a language classroom. It's very outside of our comfort zone. The students need to feel that they're in a natural environment. Motivation, there's candy involved in my classroom. I have a system of points, and but sometimes they have so much fun they forget about the candy. So that's good. Um, so, um, yeah, you can never go wrong with a minion. Yes. Sí, una pregunta.
Okay. Does somebody teach you how to do TPRS?
Well, TPRS, I'm not even close to where I want to be, okay?
Did you just wake up one day and was like, I'm
No,
gonna do this?
I came to this with a lot of how did I learn English? How did I learn other languages when I was an adult? How did my wife learn English? When I met her, she didn't speak English. We met in Brazil, but that's a long story. So thinking, why I'm not getting these kids where I need to go? Why? So I went back, I said, this grammar, this is not going. So thinking, then I heard about this. Then I had a great methods class here at U of L that really put everything together. And it's training, practice, reading. I'm going to a workshop next month done by this program. It's practice, and it takes a while.
Did you do this your first year? Or did you do this your first year? Or were
No.
Right.
I started doing, and this is my 6th year teaching. And for like my first years, I did the grammar, we did a little bit of reading, but it was that process, and I was not getting where I wanted to be. So I started incorporating things that were, for me, were common sense because from my experience, I learned English in a classroom in Argentina. I didn't learn here. When I came here, I was in my 30s. And I started saying, okay, how did I do it? How did they do it with me, and what was the setup? And I started introducing that kind of thing. And then, but it takes practice. It's not like,
No, because I wanted to implement something like this, but I'm a first year, so I kind of wanted to.
it is
Kinda
practice,
learn how
but
to
read
do
their
my-
books. There are readers that I use in the classroom. Some are great, some are not so great. You have to check them. And if you want, just talk to me, or I'll give you my email and I'll tell you. But it takes practice. It takes practice. See,
Where do you
Yes.
find the TPR stories?
where?
Yeah, like how do you
Well,
find them?
you make them up.
Make them out, okay.
You can make them up. You can. I have a lot of riddles that I've known since I was a kid, and I use those as a base. I have. You can do stories. They have some books where you can use stories based on certain things. There are very easy rules.
Do
But
they
it's
follow the standards?
Hmm?
Do the books follow the standards?
Follow the standards. Yeah. Yes. It's everything is toward fluency. The thing is not that what is the word? Compartmented, I guess. The future tense. No, it's everything together. Sometimes the standards are a little bit all over the place, right? Yeah, I feel the same. And it's not very realistic, okay? But you can always wiggle. Just one thing about motivation, I found this quote, so if you want to learn a second language. Okay?
Put that up in your room.
Okay. Time.
Thank you.